Hi, friend. Omar here. What's going on with the internet? For most of the internet's existence, you could just exist. And now it's like this? I remember when we used to do captchas to prove we were human, and that's now evolved to having to use a platform. You need to do that same thing, and you have to do it with an ID. And they promise they don't store the data. Alright. Even something like social media now just doesn't feel social anymore. It feels like now everything has to be glamorous. You have to have your finest hour at all times. You have to post the best snippets of your life. And everyone seems to forget that life isn't always fun. It's not always great. It's not always going amazing. Sometimes you live paycheck to paycheck. And that's okay. But on social media, it's just not enough anymore. Because what it ends up doing is you have something like this. The social media platform that is shaped to look like Reddit and actually is just AIs communicating with AIs about humans. Which is, yeah, it's fun to read. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend it's not. I just think that's really, really sad. I think one of the best examples of this is Twitter, the social media platform once dubbed the town hall of the internet. Right, the place where we could all congregate and read news, interact with news, and just have fun, have a jolly old time. And now it's just flooded with AI posts, with AI comments, and people asking AI whether whatever they just read is true. But no, let me just ask Grok. And you know what? Let me make sure to thank Grok as well, because Grok has been a big help. I don't want to interact with humans, not even on the internet anymore. And that seems to sort of be the running theme now on social media. It's not because you want to make content that maybe inspires somebody or give somebody a smile on their face and makes their day a little bit better. No, now you just want to make content because you want to please the algorithm. And it's funny too, because this algorithm thing isn't really anything new. They keep saying, oh, it's AI driven and it really tracks everything. And yeah, it does. It's always been like that. The only difference is back in the day, you got it suggested because it's content that you like to see. Now, a lot of the content you see is supposed to tick you off on purpose because it keeps you on the app. It keeps you engaging. Twitter doesn't want you to be happy. Facebook doesn't want you to be happy. They want you to be outraged. They want you to look at something and go, what? No, of course that's not how it is. Of course that's a lie. And then you interact with it and you get ticked off at it and you spend 5 more minutes on the app that turn into 10, 20, 30 minutes. And that's maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 ads you could see that you wouldn't have seen if you stepped off the app. But you're going to stay on the app because, wait, what other dumb stuff has this person said that I might not agree with? It's a game for them now. It's not about connecting with people. It's not about connecting with like-minded people that you see eye to eye with, or maybe making a new friend that lives in the other side of the world. That's not what it's about anymore. It's just about money. We're all numbers in the eyes of those big social media conglomerates. And yeah, I know. Now they say, oh, but everything is democratized. Oh, but, music doesn't chart unless it's through an algorithm. And then you have this theory going around that music platforms like Spotify are actually making their own AI music and putting it on their own playlists that they ship out to millions and millions of people so they don't have to pay royalties to the actual artists, and instead that money can go right back into their own pockets and they don't even have to spend that long making the songs. And I'm not saying this because I think you should go to some decentralized social media platform like Mastodon or Blue Sky. I'm just saying that because I think it's really sad what the internet has come to, and I think the way that it's moving now with AI worries me, and I just don't even know what to expect when I open social media up anymore. And now on YouTube, for example, right, on the platform where you're watching this video, I hope that YouTube will push this video out to people that like it. It might not, because maybe I don't have the right buzzwords in the title or whatever. Instead, it'll show you some video that's going to take you off, or maybe show you a video that you don't care about, and you're going to get 30 suggestions and maybe you'll only like 2 of them, because it doesn't care about what you want to see. It cares about what's going to make you stay longer on the website. The biggest example of this is the recent surge in AI content. YouTube has never had as much AI content as it does now, and it's never pushed them the way it does now. Those channels never got as much traction as they do today because YouTube is pushing them on equal grounds with content created and made by humans for humans. Let's say you're into music and you want to see some reels or some YouTube shorts about hip-hop music, artists, stuff that you maybe didn't know about a certain song. Half the content you're going to see is probably AI generated, and you're probably not going to clock it until 5-6 seconds in, and then you're going to click off it. But because you gave it those 5-6 seconds, YouTube is going to keep recommending it because you didn't swipe away the second you saw it. You swiped away after you watched a part of it. So maybe you'll like the next one. When you upload something to YouTube, it asks you if it's AI generated, but if you are watching YouTube content, you can't filter for AI generated content or not AI generated content. It just shows it when you click on the video. It'll tell you that this video had some AI elements into it, but you can't tell it that you don't want AI content. And at some point, what's going to happen is, because these AIs are going to eventually get good at reading the algorithm and playing the algorithm, you're going to get way more AI content than not. And because stuff like 11 Labs exists and can make voices that sound pretty natural, you might not even know the difference. And you might start interacting with content that isn't even made by humans. And the content that is made by actual people, that actual people have spent time and energy and thought and passion, poured it into it, might just never see the light of day. And perhaps there's no greater perpetrator of this than the plague of AI faceless channels.
Money. And in this video, I'll show you exactly how you can recreate these channels using AI. So the first thing you'd need to do is get ideas for your stories. In order to do this, you'd want to come over to ChatGPT, and as you can see, I'm using 3.5.
Okay, all right, sure. You know, a lot of the friends that I've made through YouTube and through content creation over the years, some of them are not that interested in showing their face on the internet for one reason or the other, for their privacy's sake, or just because they don't want to associate their real life person with whatever content they make. Either way, that's fine. That's your right as a person. You have that right to privacy. But if you're gonna tell people to make content that they're not even making themselves, and just putting in a prompt that's going to make that content for you and churn it out on a consistent basis, you're emulating what a real person would do, except there's no human touch. And at some point, it's going to be so autonomous, it's not even going to need your input. And you're just going to keep seeing these videos pop up left, right, and center. And they're going to make it to trending. And they're going to make it to millions of numbers. And people are going to make money off of them, which they already have. And it's just going in the completely opposite direction of what YouTube was when it first started, where it was about you. Their literal tagline was broadcast yourself. It's not about that anymore. They don't care about that anymore. They care about the advertisers, and the advertisers want content pushed out to as many people as possible, because the more content people consume, the more ads they're likely to see. And the more likely, theoretically, they ought to click on your ad and maybe you make a buck or two out of it. But it just completely disregards the human aspect that once dominated social media. And it's gotten to a point now where social media, for many people, myself included, doesn't feel very social. It feels like you're looking at ChatGPT that you didn't ask for. On Twitter, if you have the blue check mark, which once, back in the day, used to mean that you were a notable person or entity, now it just means that you have $8 to spare and you don't mind putting those away every month. People found out that if they could, with just a little bit of tech slithering, create a bot that interacts with content, that will be shown at the top of the page of replies, because they have the blue check mark, and the blue check mark means that you're favored when it comes to your tweets being seen more. Once you set that up and you just let it run its own course, you can make money off of those impressions alone. And if you know how to prompt it properly and what content to put out there, you could make a lot of money off of it. And people have. And so now it's just a money-making scheme for people who don't have anything better to do than set up bots, because they talk about this passive income thing like it's this amazing thing, and doesn't completely wipe away the entire idea of a platform that is supposed to connect people from across the globe with other people. So it's sort of this weird catch-22 almost. You don't want to be on social media because you don't want to see AI content. But if you're not on social media, you don't interact with people. So I guess that's what I came here to talk about today. I'm hoping that you, my villagers, will partake in this conversation. Please let me know down below what your thoughts are on this, because you might have a completely different lens that I haven't even looked into yet, or a completely different idea of how to maybe make this a better place to be for all of us. In any case, I have made a Discord server for The Village. I've made a subreddit for The Village. The Village is what I call you guys. So I'm hoping to build a village with you guys, an online village, if you will. So if you do like that, please go down below, subscribe and ring that bell, follow me on social media, join the Discord server, join the subreddit, and let's get talking. And obviously, on the Discord server and on the subreddit. If you do have something you'd like me to cover, let me know in there, and I will do that if it fits into what we're building, which for the most part I think it will. And if not, then I'll just do some videos for outlier content that doesn't necessarily fit what we're doing. But to me, it's about building a community. That's what I want to do here, and I hope you'll be a part of that. So that is all from me. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care, and ciao.